We've come to North Wales and to some of the best driving roads that Britain has to test not one but two new Porsches. The problem that exotic brands like Porsche have is that there's almost no limit to the amount of money that people are prepared to spend with them. They could double the cost of cars like the Boxster and the Cayenne overnight and still sell every car that they make. But that would look greedy. So what they do instead is produce special editions. You get a slightly different look, perhaps a bit more power, a bit more kit, but often the price is an awful lot higher. What we're going to do today is find out whether the two new special editions from Porsche are really worth the extra cash. And the first one is this, the new Porsche Cayenne GTS. So what is a Cayenne GTS? Well, basically it's a Porsche Cayenne that wants to be a 911. It comes as standard on steel springs, lowered by 24mm. It gets a 6-speed manual gearbox. The V8, 4.8 litres, gets an extra 20 horsepower to take it to just over 400. You get a turbo-look body, and you get these 21-inch rims that are plainly never designed to go off-road. But all of that has already cost you an extra £10,000 on top of the cost of a standard Cayenne S, making this GTS 56 grand. And that's before you've added some of the optional extras, such as this Nordic gold paintwork. It's unique to the GTS, but if you want it, you've got to pay an extra £1,561. If you want to put the air suspension back on, it's 1,240 quid. If you want the Porsche dynamic chassis control, that's over £2,000. If you want the DVD navigation system, it's 1,900 quid. And if you want these Porsche embossed crests on your headrest, it's 127 quid. All of these options, plus a few more, take the total cost of this car we're testing north of £70,000. And with fuel economy at 20 miles per gallon, that's probably cost me about a tenner as well. So, most importantly, how does the new Cayenne GTS drive? Well, it's a Porsche, so it's not going to ride and handle badly, but it's still a 2.2-ton SUV, and even Porsche's legendary ride and handling mojo isn't going to make something this big, this tall, and this heavy handle like a sports car. It does a reasonable impersonation of one, though. If you put the adaptive damping into the sports mode, it corners very flat, there's loads of grip, there's a lot of power as well, but obviously it's muted by the huge weight that this thing has to carry around with it. Fundamentally, it's a flawed car. And there's another new limited edition Porsche that shows you how a Porsche really ought to ride and handle. That exhaust note is absolutely unbelievable. So here's our second all-new Porsche. It's the Boxster RS60, and it's kind of Porsche's 60th anniversary present to itself. Although the 60 in the title doesn't commemorate the anniversary, it actually commemorates the 1960 Porsche RS Spyder, which won a bunch of races, both in the States and at Le Mans. So what makes it different? Well, you get this special GT silver paintwork, you get this rather garish Carrera red leather interior, and you get a bunch of details like the plaque on the dashboard that reminds you that only 1,960 of these things will be made. It's a limited edition. You get a special kick plate in under the door. There's no cowl over the instruments like there is in a regular Boxster. You also get these 19-inch alloy wheels. But don't be confused by the fact that this thing has RS in its name. This is not a classic Porsche RS lightweight special edition. In fact, the only thing being lightened here is your wallet. For all those changes, you're going to pay an extra £5,500 over the cost of a regular Boxster S. And the only difference you'll notice on the road is the special exhaust system, which sounds fantastic, but it adds an extra 8 horsepower. Wow! But any cynicism about the high price of the RS60 pretty much goes out the window when you drive it. Just like the regular Boxster and Boxster S, it's absolutely sensational. The steering is fantastic, the engine response is really, really crisp, and that new sports exhaust sounds absolutely fantastic. It's not perfect by any means. The fact that it's open causes a little bit of scuttle shake sometimes, which can corrupt the steering feel. Also, the brakes could use a little bit more feel as well. But it's still an amazing, amazing car to drive. However, 45 grand is still a very high price to pay. You don't need to spend that much to get the best Boxster. A regular Boxster 2.7 at 33 grand will deliver 95% of the thrills of this thing. So, two new Porsches, one of which we can't quite see the points of, the other one we really like, but can't see why you choose over a regular Boxster or a Boxster S. But like we said at the beginning, people are just desperate to spend money with Porsche, so it doesn't really matter what we think. These things are guaranteed to sell by the shed load. But this is Porsche's 60th anniversary year, and the June issue of Car Magazine has a special package devoted to Porsche. As part of that, we're going to take these two cars to meet the Cayman and the Carrera 2, two cars that we think are the best in Porsche's lineup, to find out which is the best Porsche. And you can read all about it in our June issue.